Good morning, one and all. I'm Ravindra Rao, your host and guide from Kotak Securities Commodities Research Desk. Well, last week was little quiet as the whole market focused on the US CPI print and the ECB interest rate decision. The ECB was a non-event as there were no changes to their earlier stance as the central bank remained dovish. The US inflation number came in stronger than expected, supporting the bets on change in central bank stance. However, bonds completely surprised as they moved higher. The US dollar traded sideways for a major part of the last week, but the late action saw the American currency strengthening and it closed the week in green at around 90.50. Bonds, however, surprised as they showed great strength despite rising inflation. The US 10-year bond yield has now come below the previous 1.50% breakpoint. It closed lower at around 1.46%. Gold fell last week by around 0.7% and ended near 1878 dollar per ounce amid higher inflation print. Although higher inflation is positive for gold, higher inflation also is creating a hope that the central bank Fed might go for some kind of a tapering in their bond purchases. This has supported the US dollar, and that's why gold witnessed some kind of a correction. ECB's dovish monetary policy stance also supported the US dollar. Gold has struggled to sustain above 1916 recently, and as a result, it has witnessed a sharp drop at the start of this week, testing the support zone near 1845. However, gold has remained underpinned by mixed economic data from major economies, uncertainty caused by Chinese crackdown on rising raw material prices, increasing inflationary pressures, and persisting virus concerns. Although choppy trade may continue in the near term as market players assess inflation expectation and its impact on the monetary policy of major central banks, buying interest may re-emerge at lower levels as most central banks are likely to maintain dovish stance amid persisting virus concerns, while choppiness in equity market may also increase its appeal as an alternative asset. Coming to silver, we had seen a divergence in gold and silver as COMEX silver ended the week with a 0.9% gain, whereas gold fell last week. Silver has garnered support from gains in industrial metals on improving demand expectations. The general improvement in manufacturing sector and global economy has boosted demand expectations. Silver may continue to trade in the broader range that it has been trading since past few sessions. However, similar to gold, silver may also see some buying interest at lower levels if the central bankers maintain dovish stance. Technically, COMEX gold is trading in a broader range of 1840, 1845, which is a very strong support. If it closes below that, then we might see gold moving lower towards 1800, $1810. Whereas resistance remains at dollar 1916, and above that we might see gold moving up towards 1950, $1960. Fed's event will be closely watched for, and we advise that it is better to stay on the sidelines and wait for the Fed event, which can be tricky to precious metals. On the MCX, support now remains near 48,100 to 47,700 in the near month contract, and we might see buying re-emerging at those levels. And on the upside, 48,700, 800 would be the immediate resistance, and the final resistance is around 49,700. Above that, we might see gold moving sustainably above 50,000. In case of silver, on the MCX, silver has been trading in a broad range of 74,500 to 70,000, 70,500 levels. So until and unless it moves out of this range, we expect this range to continue. The bias remains slightly positive until it holds above 69,500 on the MCX. But fresh buying interest might be seen only if it sustains above 74,500. Coming to oil, crude oil has garnered support from upbeat demand forecast by OPEC and uh, International Energy Agency hopes of higher US and European demand during summer OPEC's gradual stance on production hike and drop in US crude stocks to February lows. NYMEX crude continued to trade higher as it gained 1.9% last week, marking its third weekly rise and tested the highest level since October 2018. Shorts were continuously squeezed and the WTI ended the week above the $70 per barrel mark. Crude has continued to set new highs, which indicates strong upward momentum despite few negatives like rising US dollar, mixed economic data from major economies, drop in US gasoline demand, jump in US crude oil rig count to April 2020 highs, drop in Chinese imports, and concerns about Chinese crackdown on rising raw material prices. Due to overbought structure and few negatives, crude oil may witness some volatility. However, any substantial dip would be a good opportunity to go long. Technically, crude has moved out of the range, which we had been telling since our past few podcasts. And if we talk about the NYMEX crude, NYMEX WTI crude, it has moved above the resistance of $68. And in case of MCX, it has been sustainably trading above 5,000 levels. So we expect the breakout is already on, and the possibility of crude moving higher technically is the probability is more than it coming down. So any dips in crude oil towards $70 or $69 would attract buying again. In case of MCX, any dip towards 5050 or 5100 would again see buyers coming in, and ultimately it might reach somewhere near 5350 to 5400 on the MCX. In case of natural gas, also there is a very good breakout. There is a symmetrical triangle breakout. Immediate resistance is near 243.80, 244, which was the recent high. If that is taken out, we expect the price to go to 254, which is the previous highs. If it doesn't break, then if it gives a dip towards say 234, 232, that would be a good buying opportunity, and from there we might again see buyers coming in, and they might push the prices higher towards 254. Lastly, in case of base metals, all the non-ferrous metals have traded higher in the week gone by. LME lead was the best performer with a 3.2% gain, followed by nickel and zinc, which gained by 1.1% each. Copper and aluminum also gained by 0.5% and 0.4% respectively. Positive drivers were demand optimism and expectation of loose monetary policy stance of major central banks. However, the gains were capped amid gains in US dollar, choppiness in equities amid increasing inflation concerns, and signs of slowdown in Chinese demand. Overall, amid mixed factors, we may see directionless trade continuing. However, worries about Chinese demand may keep pressure on prices. Technically, copper and zinc are the two commodities which have a good setup. If we talk about copper, 730 has become a strong support because many a times it has come down to those to 730, 732, and from there it has reversed. And on the higher side, 754 remains a crucial resistance. So if 730 holds and if the price moves above 754, then there is a possibility it might further move higher towards 778, 780. So until 730 holds, any dip should be a good buying opportunity in copper or on a breakout above 754. In case of zinc, zinc has been trying to breach the resistance near 243, 244. On the LMA, it is already trading higher and it is trading above the breakout level. But on the MCX, it is still struggling to sustain about 244. If it sustains about 244, we expect prices might move sharply higher. It might test 248, 250 immediately. So wait for that breakout, and once that breakout happens, one can go long, or we might see buying coming in zinc at lower levels. So to conclude, the major event this week would be the FOMC meet. Uh, the decision will come Wednesday midnight, and MCX will be impacted only on Thursday. So till then, it is better to stay on the sidelines or stay light, wait for the decision to come in, and then one can take a directional trade in almost all commodities. Well, that's all from this edition of the Commodity Podcast. Good luck and trade safe.